Yeah, well, welcome guys, we've got 4 very happy guys here today. Simon Parks, James Mason, Adam Charlotte. So today we're going to be talking about our own future, what we do, and being in control of it rather than the one thing that if you're not in control with your own destination, then somebody else will decide for you. And there are some people out there that would rather have somebody choose their own destination because they have no direction in their life, and the extremes that are in the public domain right now of having to be completely wacky out there just to get attention, rather than having a pure heart, knowing where you're going, knowing your destination. And I can promise you, when you do that, it lasts a lot longer when you're in control of your destination, control of who you are. It doesn't matter about the outside, what you look like. Well, somebody look, people like Simon and I that have got over 120 years experience together, and neither of us are particular oil paintings. But what would they speak for? Yourself, Mr. Ward. I know Stevie Wonder told you we're an oil painting. I know. The reality is it's more important what's inside of us, and this is what I've learned on my journey, that when you understand that what's inside somebody, and that lasts forever, but what's on the outside, gravity kicks in. All kinds of things kick in. Laughter lines, there's nothing quite that funny. Yeah, exactly. So it's important that we take control of our destination. We can take control of our lives. When you do that, you find satisfaction. And it's a very, very nice feeling, being in control of yourself, your finances. Both Simon and I have been tormented for the last year by corrupt bankers. Yeah, absolutely, and it's so frustrating. I mean, it puts years on you, but it certainly has with me. It's so frustrating. All they hide behind all the excuses. Oh, it's compliance. Oh, it's this. Once you take control, we're all exiting the matrix right now as we speak. Those people that want to exit it. And this is why I've got Adam and James here to help, and Simon and I have an audience that we're trying to educate in the way of looking after themselves. Yeah. True. So, gentlemen, well, first of all, let's hear how you are. Simon, how are you? I'm waiting for good things to happen, I suppose, as ever, Charlie. But in relation to what you're talking about, yes, absolutely. I spoke to you privately, and I said that a couple of days ago we were at the shops. And the feeling amongst the general public is one of fear and trepidation. Worried about interest rates, they're worried about inflation, they're worried about paying their bills. And you know it's absolutely hitting them now. So you know this is a real opportunity for people to get rid of money. That's just literally going down the toilet and put it into something that's going to hold its seats and reserves, because it's shocking that people don't seem to know what to do. They're just running around in circles, panicking. How do I fill the car up? How do I pay this? And at least what we talk about here is one option that can actually literally save a person's life financially. It makes a difference, Simon, doesn't it? Makes all the difference. We just had that conversation just before we come on. Actually, Adam, yourself, we have that conversation about the way it is right now, and it's yeah, this is why we feel it's so important to get this message out there, to help as many people as we can. And we'll do whatever it takes to do that. It's only a little bit, I think, what What we do it's a little bit but at least it's something isn't it you know? Yeah. Yeah but looking as well this moment in time people are at a crossroads and they're feeling this stuff you know when things are all good. They're all good but I think people are starting now to go okay I need to do something different Definitely. Yeah it really is and you can be in control of your destiny when you come to a crossroads as Adam said. If you procrastinate and go no but nowhere, somebody will whack you up the ass and send you their direction. It's that simple. Make a decision, make a choice. Make an educated choice. And then when you're in control of your destiny, you can there's so many times that we've talked about. If you put your mind to something, you can control your own destiny when you know what's within you Simon has a group of people, a huge group of people that are connecting their consciousness. So when you can connect with your consciousness, and Simon helps people and so does Becky. Help people to connect with what's within. When you do that then you can choose your own destiny. And Adam and James here are pieces in the puzzle that says don't put your destiny in somebody else's hands. Put it in your hands. You control your consciousness, you connect your financial destiny, you control your life. And when you do that, take back control. Most of you have given up control because you didn't have a destination. You didn't have a journey. But it's not too late to start. Yeah, true, exactly, yeah. And we've done the same. We're only talking about what we've done for ourselves, yeah. We've taken back at one point we didn't have control and we chose to take control. I think on your point there, Charlie, is well about not giving control in your destiny into someone else's hands. That includes us. We don't want to take control of anyone's destiny. We just want to empower people so that they can take control for themselves. And I think it's very easy to jump from having your life in control of one person and then putting it in the hands of someone else. The jump is to take out of one person's hands and have it for yourself and keep it there and take responsibility for your actions. Isn't it taking responsibility of your life? And and not allowing other people to control you. And this is where James's words come in. This is education. This is not advice. Come on, James, what's your standard life? Yeah, it's never been advice. We don't believe in advice. It's just even if we were allowed to give advice, even if we wouldn't give it. It's not in us to give advice. It doesn't empower people. Yeah. It doesn't empower them, it does the opposite. And I realized that in the army. I realized that many years ago that advising people and telling them what to do doesn't work. You've got to educate them and empower them to do it themselves. And you get so much more from it than that way. Education comes from what you've learned yourself, yeah. And all four of us, without exception, have learned the hard way. I can assure you. Definitely, I think as well when you think about advice, it's exactly what you said, is you're putting control in someone else's hands. Yep, you're saying, give me the advice and I'll give you control. It's like a switch, isn't it? Whereas education says no, you keep the control and you have the knowledge as well and make the decision for yourself. If you look back at the older generation, certainly for my grandparents, in the 50s and the 60s, most of those people in that generation kept money under the mattress and under the floorboards because they didn't trust the banks in them days. Yeah. And it's amazing how many of them did that. Yet we've been forced to declare everything and make sure that they know you exactly what you've got and where you've got it so they can control you. Whereas the back in the 40s and the 50s and the 60s, these people had already worked them out, but we've been brainwashed by the art of television to try and convince us one thing. Talking of television yesterday, just because of I like sport, I was watching Roland Garros in Paris, the French Open, and in between each set, when they went to a commercial break, all of the adverts were insurance for crematoriums and burial. All of them. And I was thinking, this is the 1st of June, 31st of May, this is when everybody's booking their holidays, not their coffins. This is how the world has changed, yeah. Do you know, I had an experience with with my bank. I know what you're gonna say, yeah. And long story short, it's going to the bank. And it's just madness that we've been hypnotized throughout a long period of time that they are the authority and they control everything and they pull the strings. So anyway, I went in and said, I've been told to come here and there's something I can't do on that, but you know, my app or whatever, and they said, yeah, no problem, no counters anymore. You know how it used to be, you queue for the counter. They said the next appointment's in an hour and a half. And I said, that's a bit inconvenient, but okay, I'll take it and I'll come back in an hour and a half. No, you have to wait here for an hour and a half. Okay, inconvenient. Again. The thin end of the wedge of control. That's what it is. And then I got called into a room and they said, oh great, what are you wanting to do? Well, I'm wanting to make this transfer. Oh well, we need to know where the money's come from, but it's sat in my account. Yeah, but we need to know where it's come from. We need to know that it's legitimate. And I said, but surely you should ask that when the money comes in, not when it's going out. Well, we can't check every transfer that comes in. I'm funny, but you can check every transfer that goes out. And we had this kind of to and fro, where on their point of view they would in their minds totally doing the right thing by questioning how legitimate these funds were. I'm not, relatively speaking, we weren't talking about a lot of money, but they wanted to know where it was going and the history of where it's come from. But they don't want to check when it comes in. And I actually said to them, well, this is why you will find you know billions of pounds for laundering Mexican drug cartel money. And they said, well, you know, that was a long time ago. We've learned our lesson now. And I thought, hardly, and they're penalizing the little guy in the grand scheme of it. We're all small fry, you know. But they get away with the big stuff. And in the end, I just walked out and said, oh, you know, this is not something I want to do. I don't need to explain myself. You should be checking when the stuff comes, when the money comes in. Madness, absolute madness. I think if you're not taking control of your own life and your own decisions, it would be very easy to just do as they say. And the lady actually says, the manager of the bank, I've worked in 10 years and I've never had anyone and refused to tell us where the funds have come from, and I said, well, that's because everyone falls into line and does as they're told. And but times are changing, and it's actually nothing to do with them. You want to check where it's come from. You can see where it's come from. But very frustrating, very frustrating. James and Adam, 2 days ago I went into the bank, take out some money, and card was blocked. It's about the 5th time in 3 months, so back to the queue. All right, fine. And wasn't quite the same as yours. Somebody came and got me from the counter and sat down and, have you got any it on you? Yeah, I've got my driving license to get on the phone to the head office, blah blah blah. And then I said, look, can you just ask them why they keep doing this to me? This is the 5th time 3 months. So the person speaks to them and then says to me, I'm sorry, I can't tell you the reason why. I said, are you telling me you're just going to keep doing it? And she said, yeah. So it's just going to keep blocking my car? She said, it looks like it. Yeah, I said, so you can't tell me so. I'm not allowed to tell you why. Yeah, it's like, so I said, what happens if I'm away from the bank? And I can't get to a bank. And said, well, you just better keep some cash on you. And we talk about the QFS and we talk about all this. But actually at a local level, I'm there still as bloody corrupt as ever. And the other thing we don't talk about is, frankly, that people who lucky got a lot of money in the bank. In most countries it's only protected up to a certain amount. And if the banks collapse, all of it goes. And they are supposed to repay you that much. Well, what I would say to people, James and Adam, is find out where you live in terms of what your bank says is the law. And then all of that excess you've got, if you have got excess, just put it into gold and silver. What is the point if, let's say for instance, it was 10,000 and anything over 10,000 they were going to take off, you never give you back. What's the point in keeping 12,000 in the bank? You might as well just go and do it. And then if you have got less than that, well, now is the time to start buying small amounts of precious metal to back yourself up against what possibly is coming. I found the banks to be more and more unfriendly over the next few. Absolutely dictatorial. I understand it's their account. I get that it's my money and their account. But you'd think it was their money. That's how you think it was, absolutely. And so I'm very worried. Yes, I'm very worried about the future. Because at local level, whatever's going on at the top at local level, they are absolutely crushing the ordinary person. That's what's going on. Yeah, and I think I know we're not going to talk about the QFS, but I think what's happened is at high level they've made some sort of deal and arrangement, but at local level that's not filtered through, and I think that they've just gone mad and fancy. Someone's saying to me, I can't tell you why, Mr. Parks, your card is going to be continually blocked, but it is going to be continually blocked. Yeah, what the hell is that about? Yeah, anyway, so I'm just very unhappy at the way things are going like that. I couldn't even go for a flaming cup of coffee because it was totally blocked. Couldn't do that. I had to go and wait. Luckily it was under half an hour this time. Last time, Adam, it was an hour and a half I had to wait, and the time before that it was an hour and a half.